Please stop this nonsense. Japanese decry boomer-era technology as hospitals file COVID-19 cases by fax. I remember seeing the news that there is a company that develops robots that automatically push hanko. Something is wrong. And 1 in 3 households in Japan still have fax machines. WTF? Japan, the world champion in we have always done it this way. They are a dichotomy of high-tech and stubborn tradition. They used to close ATMs on weekends because bank isn't open. Doesn't matter if the machines are automated. Just why would you need to do any banking when banks are not open? So many examples like this. Japan is a strange place, technology-wise. It's like traveling to the future from the perspective of someone in the early 1990s. Edit. Whoa, this blew up. I've tried to reply to individual questions where I can, but in short I would just highly recommend making Japan your next holiday. It's the most incredible place. Edit. Thank you for the silver, kind stranger. I work in healthcare and I fucking hate fax machines. My mom works for a government agency and she told me last night they've just put their application online for people to fill out so they don't need to come get a paper copy. Just now. In the year 2020. So many businesses need to just take a damn minute and realize this should have been a priority long ago and everyone will be happier. Fun fact, the concept for fax was developed into an invention before the concept for the phone was. I'm not surprised, even their cybersecurity minister has never used a computer. https://www. bbc.com/news/amp/technology 462222026. That's something I noticed while living in Japan. Great technology in everything except business tech. I'm talking faxes, pagers, dial-up phones, etc. Shit was wild. I read the other day that despite the perception that the Japanese are all gadget-loving technophiles, fewer Japanese have Wi-Fi and home computers than several other modern countries and they still rely on old technology in the workplace, including fax machines. This has made it difficult for them to work from home. Anyone who's spent any significant amount of time in Japan has a million stories about rules that exist for no reason whatsoever, and how much fun it is as a gaijin to break them, the gaijin smash. It's almost impossible to communicate to someone who hasn't experienced it how overwhelming the pressure to fit in is, and how oppressive it is. Occasionally, though, it's hilarious. I was studying in Tokyo for a year, and while my wife was visiting me, we went to Baskin-Robbins in Kichijoji. Right off the bat, it's not like an American ice cream shop, there's no pick what you want setup, just a set menu. I wanted some chocolate chip with whipped cream, but the closest thing they had was a sundae with chocolate sauce. I asked the ice cream robot if I could just have just the whipped cream, and she responded, without ever changing her tone or plastered-on smile, that it came with the chocolate sauce. I asked her if I could pay for the sundae, and she could call it a sundae, but just not put the chocolate sauce on. She looked genuinely panicked, again explained to me that it came with chocolate sauce, and then kinda froze. My wife was stunned, and I left without any ice cream. Fun fact: in Ireland all medical files are paper, we have nothing digital. In all our hospitals there are massive rooms of files, and if you want to search anything you physically go into that room and look for something. I was working on a European trial and apparently an auditor came in and was shocked and confused by how we did things here. Schools are just as bad. With the shutdowns, teachers have had to work double time preparing homework packets to deliver by hand to their students, as if PDFs and email don't exist. Fucking blows my mind how antiquated the whole country is. Meanwhile the rest of the world has moved forward with online schooling. It's a myth that Japan is technologically advanced. Technically speaking, faxes are 1840s technology, not boomer tech. Oddly, that means they predate the telephone. But if I upgrade to printers I will have -2 happiness due to modernization, sad. Traditional to a fault. You know, Someone who knew nothing about Japan but consumed all of their media output would assume they are a super liberal and futuristic society who partake in unholy amounts of orgies in the streets with no taboos. In reality, they are among the most conservative, traditional places on earth with a declining population and more taboos than grass. I was shocked by how much business was still don't buy fax when I lived there more than 10 years ago. Every single hospital uses fax for internal and trans-facility document sharing. I know that in the US some places use faxes because of security and HIPAA stuff. On the other end of the spectrum, I'm a college prof here in Japan trying to get my lessons online for students, and a lot of them don't own computers. They've grown up with smartphones and have never had the need for a computer until now. I used to be fascinated by Japanese culture, but then I realized it's all the sensationalist stuff I've been exposed to. Real Japan is just disappointing. Till a new word, gerontocracy LMAO. Does Japan really use the boomer archetype? Strange to think they'd talk about an age group that is defined by a post-war period of a war they lost. Excuse me sir, we have a fax here for you, it's from the 90s, should we reply? Boomer tech. Meanwhile our unemployment is still built off COBOL. A programming language so dead when it broke last month they had to bring septuagenarian out of retirement just to fix it. Faxes are still used in medical applications, by certain laws. So not true, except in your knowledge base.